Hello, welcome to Hey Her Next. This is Apostolic Intelligence Next, not Artificial Intelligence. We trust Holy Spirit to nurture and to feed Christ-like intelligence, so you can to approach our life with that. In the last broadcast, I charged us for 2026 that we should not run a rat race. So how do you do that? How do you get the position from a rat race into right race? I've got some brief strategies we can use to do that. If you're going to reposition yourself from rat race to right race, which I've told you, go and watch the last broadcast to understand what that means. So you have to experience called race shift. There has to be a shift in your life you can't change your race until you are shifted. And there's a process until you are saved, renewed, re-educated. You can't experience the fundamental shift that will reposition you. Every man, because there's two kinds of men on planet Earth. So we have the first man and the last man. The first man has his own design, his own program, and his own lane. The second man has his own design, his own program, and his own lane. And so for you to shift from the first man to the second man, which is Jesus, you have to have a salvation experience that will alter you, that will recondition you, and recontextualize you. It is then that you can be able to shift yourself from the rat race into right race. Because the first man has been condemned into rat race. Study Genesis chapter 3. There was a curse upon him. In sweat you will eat. And that was a curse that reduces a man. And Romans said that we are all sin before short. And the size of him was reduced to a rat. So his stature was shrinked by sin into rats, metaphorically speaking. So salvation has to reposition you into rat race. Because race is who you become. If you are not a right person, your being determines your race. So to become right is called the righteousness of Christ. That is where it comes from. Salvation reposition you. So you have to be saved to be. I spent a shift from the rat race into right race. So you need a race shift, which are done by salvation. The second is you need to have to call experience redefinition of success. You have to have a success redefined. Now, academically, success is defined as material acquisition. We define success in a materialistic context and an achievement context. Nothing is wrong with that, but that is not. If you approach life with that definition, it will misguide you into rat race. You have to have a success redefinition. Success must be redefined in terms of growth, purpose realization, working the prophecy of God, the will of God, in the timing and the season of God, and working fulfillment. If you don't approach your life with that blueprint of success, you will be running a rat race. That will make you to be pursuing material thing, and trust me, that will mess you up. It does not mean material is bad. There are strategic provisions and necessity to live quality life, to be effective and productive, and to enjoy the life in an edifying way. Nothing is wrong about that, but there's a context that will guide you to approach that rightly. So you don't pursue success to achieve materiality or for empty achievements. You live a life to be effective, and you have to have an approach of success by how am I growing? How are you evolving? Who are you becoming? And to how are you working the purpose and the blueprint and the process of God for your life? That is how to approach a right race. If you approach from I just want to acquire material, I just want to survive, you will find yourself walking the lane of a rat race. Another thing you have to avoid, you have to exit comparison and competition. If you are not delivered from competition and comparison, you will run a rat race. That's going to trap you. Comparing yourself with other person, which Bible says those that compare themselves are not wise. You will step into stupidity and foolishness. Because nobody is your mate in life. Everybody's on their lane. Everybody's walking their own way. Everybody's way a different way. So don't try to compete and say somebody's my mate. It's a fallacy. Nobody's your mate. Everybody have their own wiring, their own process, their own design. So you don't know the heart they carry. You don't know what's going on in their hearts. So don't just because you are schoolmates, you are clinical, whatever you can mean is, nobody is your mate. Stop comparing. You are unique, you are authentic. Live your life and become the best. Beat your own record. So you need to exit this competitive lane to escape rat race. Then you need to have what they call mental upgrade. Upgrade your mind. You need the mindset, because there's a mindset that is going to mean hustling. As much you have to be diligent, but if care is something that can trap you. You don't have to hustle to live. You need to grow to live. So you need to develop a growth mindset, not just how to hustle and struggle. As much as I know, you should not be lazy, but it's not about being hustling and struggling. Once you enter God's rate, you cease from hustle. You gain a new reading. You will be diligent, but you are powered by different energy, different grace. So you need to have a mind upgrade. There's a mindset that can sell you out to rat race. Then you need to develop phenomenal competency. You need some special competency. You need life competency. You need prophetic competency. You need not just their general competency. It won't do the right race. You need life competency. There's a competency which are not acquired in secular skill. You don't gain life competency in what? In secular schools. You gain technical competencies. But life competency, you get that from learning. When you are exposed to the truth of God, you learn how to handle life. And you need the prophetic competency to know the mind of God, work in the mind of God, and the agenda of God. You need that special competency. You also need to acquire leverage skills. There are skills that give you leverage, like leadership skills, problem-solving skills, value creation skills. You need to acquire those skills to run a right race. If you don't lack those phenomenal skills, you will run a rat race. So you need to move from busy next into strategic living. People are just so clumsy, they are busy, they are not strategic in how they live their life. You need to learn how to actually move from being busy for busy's sake. It can be so empty. It can be so deluded. I'm just busy. I'm busy. Busy for what? Learn to be strategic in how you live your life. So you need to master that. It's a learning tool. You need to find the way of learning that. And then develop effective system. Live a life that's powered by system. You need to master how to live a systematic life. The last but not the least, now prioritize growth. Make sure that there are two priorities in your life that if you don't prioritize it, you will sell yourself in the rat race. God and growth. Those are the fundamental priorities. Other follows. Do God, do growth. Then they will get you to do other things. If you can do that, you are game. So this year, run a right race. Don't run a rat race. Happy New Year. Wish you the best. Love you all. Thank you.